Hello? Hello. So, hello there. You just gonna have a little tinker with this and see how it goes. Can you hear me? Somebody tell me if they can hear me okay. So, we're gonna do some reposing of the oh, you can hear me, I think. So I've never done this before, so you'll have to be patient with me. But this is for my dude, the Apothecary. I will be I'll be painting next for the Soul Haunters. Oh, nice one, Luke. Cheers. So this will be the Apothecary, which will be the next thing that I paint. Just trying to figure out what to do with the legs at the moment, but as you can see, I have a base with blue tack. What I do with that is I with the pose, I find the level with the legs. So I've got this guy here. I've already done that leg. I don't know if I think you guys can see that. It's basically just cut there, and I've used plastic glue. You see that thing? You see that bit of ribbon at the back? I've cut that out, just that, and then I've literally just glued it on. Nothing fancy, no magic tricks, just simple as that. So, but now we need to find how we're going to pose. So I think this guy is going to be he's going to be a little bit higher at the front. So you create a blue tack base that you can do later with your proper materials and stuff. But it's as simple as that to start with. And then what I'll do is I'll judge there or thereabouts where I'm likely to want the next leg. So let's say here, just like that, and then I'll push it down and it fits into there. But I don't like that pose. I don't like that at all. Looks a little bit too like he's moving forward. Yeah, that's better, isn't it? Where am I from? I'm from Derby. So if I have a strong accent, I apologise. I live in London, but I'm from the Midlands in the UK. So that goes like that. But like I said, I'm not entirely sure I like that. So what we can do is we can try pushing it. Try going a little bit higher. This is just, it's really just experimenting. It's as simple as that. You just got to keep trying different things until something works. And the minutest changes in a leg position can have a drastic effect on how the model turns out. See, also a good trick is to use some blue tack and put his head on, because I think I assume that when you're in an action pose, your head defines a lot of the rest of your body, where you're looking. You know what I mean? So what we can do is we can put the head on. I don't know, just like that. And then all of a sudden you can get a real sense of where his legs should be. Like, is it open? Like, we could open it out a little, or we can push it back a little. What I'll do is I'll just use a bit of blue tack, Yeah, I'm not from Yorkshire. I like Yorkshire though, it's a nice place, but no, I'm not from Yorkshire. So say like that, but I'm not entirely sure I like that. See, often, I can't show you here, but often I have to look down at model level to see what it looks like. And I can already tell you that is too high, so we could get rid of a little bit of that. Just get rid of a little bit of that and just see what it looks like a little bit flatter. That looks a little bit better, but that looks a little bit better, doesn't it? It looks like he's sort of striding forward. Now that foot there is one that's on his toes, which is a little bit better works a little bit better for like a lunging forward pose. So let's just see about doing a lunging forward. See that? It's difficult to see. What does it say? What kind of modelling stuff is this? Which bit? It's not too high. It's just trial and error, and you just do things. I have no real organisation of this. It's just a case of what feels right. What is it? What have you put? Too high to create a good pose without really hacking up the mini. Yeah, you don't need to hack up. The mini. So what do you think? Good? Not good? Maybe bend it in a little bit. I've had one game and I lost, and I think I lost because I have no idea about the rules I'm lost with the rules at the minute. I don't really have a lot of time to play, and it's really hard to pick up. It just gets more confusing. Too many stratagems, I think, and other rules and whatnot. Anyway, let me bang that on there, so, like that. Don't think that's bad. I'm not entirely sure it suits the Apothecary. I don't really know what to do with the Apothecary at the minute. I was thinking about action pose, a standing pose, or a doing something pose. But it really is a case of it'll come. You just got to play with it until it comes. I don't have a plan, because I think a plan can sometimes restrict you and what you want to do. So, like, you see that? See on the screen it looks a little bit stretched out, but when it's in my hand it really doesn't look too bad at all. I suppose we could try. You see the difference there? If I just pulled that out a bit, it doesn't quite look the same. But if I do that, that's a minutest little change. And I think that looks more natural. I suppose we could try. See, lunging forward's cool, but all you have to do is turn the head, and then it creates an entirely different pose, and angling it downwards. You see what I do is I always put a little bit of green stuff in the neck to bring. What it does is it just brings the head higher, and when it's slightly higher, I'm only talking about a millimetre higher, what that does is it gives you a lot more rotation, a lot more movement up and down, so you can really accentuate poses. If you really want a moody face, you can really that looks like for some reason that looks more angry to me. It looks a little bit more angry, and then a slight tilt as well always works. See that? There's one way and there's another way. it kind of creates. Oh, you think it's perfect? Well, it's not bad. I think it's okay. It's okay, but like I was just saying, that the direction of the head really changes a miniature, so you have to be very careful on. See, that's the front. That would be what the front view looks like. I'm not sure entirely. Let me get rid of that for a second. See, that's reasonably balanced. I'm from Norway or Sweden. I think it says in my profile thing that I'm in London. Yeah, it is amazing how you can get such so much change from just something as simple as a head change, because I think it adds personality. It's just a simple, a simple rotation, like a side to side or an up and down, can really change the entire thing. I think. I mean, other people might feel differently, but I think it's really important. So let's just try that. What I did here is earlier on, well, I say earlier on, a few days ago, I did the green stuff. Sorry, you can't. There you go. There you go. I put green stuff and recreated the wrist. But what I also do is I also tend to put a little bit green stuff in there. You see that? That's just blue tacked at the minute, so I'll just take that away. But what you can do is, but what we'll do is we'll blue tack that. Sorry if I'm not catching any questions and stuff. Like I said, I've never done this. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this. So you just have to bear with me until I get comfortable with it, because it's really weird. First of all, doing it at an odd angle for the camera, and secondly, it's really weird talking about it. I am silent when I work, usually. You see, for me now, there's an example. For me now, that arm looks weird, because when I did this arm and this arm, the legs were different, and I took it apart, and now I'm here. That's why I'm here telling you, showing you how to redo it, because I want the legs. This leg was weird, and it was all green stuff, but I had to change it. That arm's okay, but it might need coming out. Right, see the little details here, look. So this arm now, the gun is for me is angled slightly too close to his leg, so really that needs to be a little bit more outwards, so you've got a gap like that. And I think then that will work. But this arm is wrong now. I think I'm going to need an entirely new, different arm on there, because it looks, to me, that looks a little bit unnatural. And if I'm honest, I think it's probably the green stuff there is making it stick out way too much. So, but that's something I can do later. Really, I was just showing you guys about the legs and things, really. But so I think that's okay. It's more slightly striding, not much going on, not much elevation on the base, but that's okay. We can just do this one a bit differently. I'm just pushing that down so I can see the legs properly and where the feet are. That's okay. Good. I think that'll be okay. So while I'm doing it, we'll try and do a little bit of the green stuff. And I'll good tip for green stuff: when you get it, cut that middle bit out, down each side, because what happens is it reacts while it's in the packet, and what you find is you'll end up with like lumpy bits in your green stuff. So what you want to do is you just cut it and then cut it again. So then you've that little bit there, that middle bit, you don't want to use that really. So what we'll do is yeah, these are the only ones I use, the helmets. These are the only ones that I use for the haunters. Keep it simple. Keep it simple and in line with everything else. So we'll just I'll just knock out this green stuff over here because it's a bit easier in front of me. Only takes a second. Just need to knead it between your fingers. 1 second. Right. Right. I always misjudge how much green stuff to use. So through experience, I'm just gonna. Is green stuff different to milliput? Yes, it is. It's I find it easier to work with, although it is still a pain. I find I use milliput for big bases. For like this guy, for instance. Let me show you. This guy, the corn dude. Some of that base is milliput because it's a bit more raw. For me, it's a little bit more bittier. So I milliput in there, around there, and it's a little bit cheaper, and I can just waste it a bit more on bases. Green stuff I use on bases too, but not really, but never on big models because it'll start getting expensive. So I'm gonna guess that that's about how big I'm gonna need. Yes. You always end up with too much. I always end up with a little ball of green stuff at the end of a project that I throw away, which will probably be that one there. But so what I'm going to do is there's no remembering, but what you can do is you see the footprints. What you can do is you can reapply the dude back to his original footprints. So that sort of keeps it in line. But what you do is you say to yourself, well, I've got a general idea now of what I'm trying to do with the leg positions. I've got the footprints. So now I'm just going to take it off. Now all you do is you just replace the blue tack with a ball of green stuff. Now I think that's going to be too small. Just on prediction, and those holes there, those holes are deliberate because what I find is I can when the green stuff is dry and I want to glue it, I can pop it off and then it will sit back in the holes because it'll make a print of the holes on the green stuff when I push it in. So what we'll do is just as this is a little bit temporary, so I'm going to use a brush with a bit of water on it just to dampen it. So basically, this is just a test fit sort of thing. See when you push it in, you see that? Sorry, yeah. It pushes it in and it fills up the gap. Now I can see there that I've got a gap at the back. That gap there is too big. So what that's telling me is the front's fine, the back is not fine, which means there isn't enough green stuff in this ball. So I'll take that off. I'd make a point, nip a bit off. Probably need a little bit more actually. Because what you don't want too much either, because too much makes a mess as well. So it's almost got to be bang on, which is a bit of a pain, but we'll try. So now that ball of green stuff is fitting fitting nicely into that leg hole, that leg socket, whatever you want to call it. Now, I have a feeling that this is going to be too much now, but we'll give it a go. It's most important at the back. Right, that's not terrible, but if you can see, that lump there is a little bit big, but I might get away with it. We'll have to just try. It really is a case of trial and error with most of it. You see that there, almost perfectly, just by chance, almost perfectly got that leg in the right position. So it just needs a little bit of adjusting. I think that's about right. About right. Yep. Okay, now give it a wiggle off. Bear with me, I can't answer any questions at the minute. I just got to do this. So what we do now is that's all right as it is. It's fine. And we need a knife with a blade. Wet it a bit. I lick it. I don't suggest you lick knives, but this is a very blunt knife. And then what we want to do is we want to put lines in here. All the way around. Now, the reason I can be a little bit, see, this isn't perfect, but the reason I can get away with it is because of all the green stuff that I put around their waists. If you were making like an ultramarine or somebody like that, and the actual join is visible, you would have to do this a lot neater, which is possible, which I have done before. It's just one of the bonuses of doing the soul haunters is you can't see none of this. So I don't really know why I'm even bothering doing it, but it's more of a case of do things properly if you can. See, right. Now you can get away with that. It's not ideal. It's not perfect at all. But let's have a look. And you can still manipulate it a little bit. But again, I have to, like I said earlier, that lump there is a little bit too big. If you were doing it perfectly, it would be set in line with the thigh. But I think it'll be fine for now. No, do you know what? Hold on, I'm going to do it again. It's not right. Bear with me. It's got to be right. Anything you do with hobbying, just try your best to do it as correct. Even if you, I mean, some people might feel differently, but even things I can't see is a little bit. I still try to do it as well as I can because it's good practice. It's good practice for you to do to working with a material just to keep right. That might be a little bit better, but that's still okay. Right, hold on. Yeah, that's a little bit better. I can see that that lump there is a little bit more in line with this. With the inside thigh. Now we just need to check. Every time you do this, you have to check that you are that your footprints that it's still going into the right footprints and such. I want to open that leg up a little bit. The good thing about green stuff is you can still tinker with it as you're doing it. I think that's a. Let me put the head back on because we need to just. I just need to Oh yeah, sorry. I'm trying to concentrate. I can't see everybody at the same time. Yeah, it's just blue tack. It's just to help me find the head positions. Right, I think that's about okay. So that's what he'll look. But to be fair, I'd probably like him to be looking a little bit more moody, a little bit more down. And the whole model is kind of a little bit leaning sideways a bit, so I'll just readjust him a bit. Yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah, it's not too bad. There is a small gap there, but nothing serious. It's more just getting it filled in down here. So what I'll try and do now is I'll try and do those lines again. See if I can wiggle him off. Right, now. Sorry, you can't see very well. So we'll push down on the inside. It does move sometimes, but it's not really a problem, because you can use the base and the footprints to make sure you've got it in position later. And take the head off again. Then that'll be fine. I'll try and push that in a little bit so it doesn't look like it's sticking out. I'll try and put a line in there. Nearly done. That'll be okay for now. It's not perfect, but shouldn't worry too much about things not being absolute. Just try and do your best. See, now when I put it down on you see this leg? There's a little bit, it's obviously the footprint's over here, about 4 mil that way. So what we'll do is we'll keep that leg in position, hold this leg down, and then I'm just going to gently push that back into the right position. See that? And that's really, I mean, you can tinker with it, obviously, you can mess about with it. Try not too much though, because you don't want to lose your lines, because otherwise you'll have to, if you lose your lines, you're going to have to start again. And I've done it twice, and that's as much as I think I need to do for this guy. Right, so there. Yep. Try it with the. I'll try it with this as well, because it gives him a bit more character. Because it's quite a unique. Actually, I'm not happy entirely with. See, that leg is sticking out this way a bit, and I'm not entirely sure I want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to gently rotate it round, but you have to be very careful again not to damage the lines that you've just put in. But it is possible. It's perfectly possible to do to move it around, but you just got to do it slowly and gently. And I kind of want his head to be a little bit more that way. I have a feeling that'll work a bit better, because that's just sort of like side. It's like a side-on view, like that almost going across him, rather than I don't really want it to be a straight. I want it to be like sort of like striding a little bit. One thing you can do is, if you want to push the leg up a bit, push the blue tack here and go like that, and just push, and that slowly, gently pushes the leg up and like moves this bit without it being too much of a without it being too much of a pain for you to do. So that's often what I do. I just tinker with the blue tack underneath a foot that I want changing. I think that's okay. Yeah, I think that's fine. Just put the base on. Oh, and careful not to touch that, because again, you'll have to do it again. So not entirely. This is where things get a little bit technical, because I'm still not entirely happy with the position of the leg. Remember at the beginning I was saying that even the smallest change can make a dramatic difference to the way your model looks. So it's really important that you slowly tinker with things until you've got it right. And the good thing about all this is that position there and this here, the blue tack, is all movable, so you can do very, very subtle changes now. I think that's better, you know. I can't do too much of a change now, because I might rip the green. I think that's okay. I think it'll do. It's small. It's a small change, but it's still a change. And when you've got like loads of them, when you've got loads of intercessors, you know, even the smallest change. When I first started doing, I did two intercessors that were just straight out of the box, and then I quickly realised that I definitely want them all to be different, and the only way you can do 5, but then you're doing repeats after to make 10, which is no good. So right, I don't really know what else to show you really, because I think you can only do an hour on here, and this could go on forever, quite frankly. I'll probably be doing this for about 3 hours. So I'll take that off there. So what I can do though is I can just I can basically show you potentially what it looked like. Well, this is also a handy thing to do, is just to blue tack the arm, because I know that I'm going to put green stuff in there somehow. So what I can do is I can change the position of the arm the same way. You still got to be careful though, because you know that is still wet. The green stuff is still damp. Is still soft, so you can't be going crazy at the minute. But that arm there, as I said earlier, that arm looks weird. It's too straight. This hand, it's all just too straight really. So that will go. But where's the other one? Let's try the same thing with the other one. Put a bit blue tack. I think that one's okay. I think it's a slight bend in it that looks a bit better, to be honest. I think that will be what he looks like on his left arm, I think. That's okay. But I can't play with this too much, because I really need that green stuff to set. nicely and not and not misshapen anyway. And the more I touch it, the more I touch it, the more it will is more likely to get damaged. I'll take that off. Get rid of that. And that is it I think that's it for my first. Bear in mind this is my first one, so I'm gonna try. Obviously, I'll try and do it more often, and hopefully I'll get better at it. But that's it. I think when that's dry, what I'll do is I'll do another one, and we'll have a tinker with the arms and get that working right. And then you'll have a better idea of what the whole thing is. And then if I have a chance, I can show you how I do the green stuff and the chain things around the waist, which is I can probably do that in an hour with a bit of luck, or just restart the video, I suppose. So okay then, well, thank you for checking my stuff out, and I shall speak to you very soon. Thank you.